Welcome to Infidelity Bond. It was still warm on my tongues, the taste sharp, thick bitter, clinging like a warning I couldn't ignore. The moment I realized what I had done, I froze, chest rising and falling, heart hammering in a rhythm that felt out of control. Across the room, Evan, the young tenant renting our guest room, stared at me. His eyes were wide, focused, glinting with something I couldn't quite name. Satisfaction, curiosity, and a depth I wasn't prepared for. I was 55, he was 22. It should never have happened. Not ever. It had started innocently, or at least I had convinced myself of that. A silly argument about laundry, a teasing dare, and suddenly I was kneeling, hands trembling as I picked up a basket that had fallen. My knees pressed against the cold tile. My wedding band catching the harsh overhead light like a silent witness. You wanted to say it. Too, he whispered. And I did. I admitted it. I confessed in a whisper that echoed in the empty room. But neither of us knew then just how far this reckless moment would spiral. How it would unravel the life I thought I had carefully constructed. Before we go further, I want to take a moment to say thank you. To everyone who has subscribed, commented, or shared your thoughts, you are the reason this channel continues. And if you're new here or you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now is the time. Your engagement fuels this space, and I read every single comment. So, share, and let me know what you think. You are part of this story too. Now, let me take you deeper, guys, because this is a story that doesn't stay quiet for long. Introducing Lena, setting the stage. My name is Lena. I am 55 years old, a retired legal assistant living in a quiet town in Georgia. My husband, Mark, is a contractor, gone for weeks at a time on extended projects. Those stretches of silence became my everyday companion. The quiet dinners, the cold side of the bed, birthdays spent alone. These were my normal. Then Evan moved in. Evan was the son of a family friend, fresh out of college, needing a temporary place to stay. At 22, he was the embodiment of youth, energetic, self-assured, warm, and hopeful in ways that made life feel brighter, lighter. He had a degree, but no job yet, and the pressures of bills and adulthood were starting to press down on him. My husband had offered him a room. I agreed without a second thought. I had no idea I was inviting temptation into my home. The first sparked subtle temptation. It began innocently. These things often do. Subtle gestures, lingering glances. He would come downstairs after a run, chest still rising and falling, hair damp and messy. The way his eyes followed me as I bent to pick up the mail made my stomach flutter. Compliments lingered a moment too long. I convinced myself it was nothing. After all, I was old enough to be his mother. But one summer evening changed everything. I was folding laundry in the back room. He walked in, wearing a loose shirt still damp from jogging, hair mussed, skin flushed. My mouth went dry before I could even greet him. "Hey," he said, smiling. "You always wear dresses like that for chores." I tried to brush it off. "Go shower, Evan." But he stepped closer. "Maybe I just like seeing you when you're focused like that." My pulse raced, heat creeping across my face. I should have left. I should have scolded him. But I froze, part panic, part something I hadn't felt in decades. "I told you to stop," I said softly. I didn't mean it. He must have sensed that because his voice softened. One hand brushed the edge of the basket I was holding, fingers light, teasing. "Talk to me. Really talk to me," he whispered, voice brushing my ear. My ring felt like a chain. "I shouldn't," I murmured. "You needed someone to listen," he said. And for the first time in months, maybe years, he was right. The pull of connection the next day, I tried to avoid him. I lingered in the bedroom, pretending to fold clothes already done. My hands shook, touching my lips as if trying to erase last night's memory. His voice haunted me. Mark had called that morning from Savannah. He'd be home a week later than expected. That should have comforted me. But instead, the silence became a provocation. Evan was in the kitchen when I emerged. He leaned against the fridge, juice carton in hand, pausing mid-sip to look at me, eyes heavy with unspoken meaning. "Morning, Lena," he said, slow, warm. "Sleep okay?" "Evan, we need to talk. I whispered, panic in my chest. He grinned. About what you said last night. My cheeks burned. All I know is you didn't push me away. You opened up. You looked like you needed every word. His honesty hit me like fire. I whispered, it was a mistake. Then make the right choice this time, he murmured. Because I'm not done talking to you, not even close. And just like that, my house became a labyrinth of tension. Every room a trap. Every glance a test. Every conversation a challenge. I told myself to stop, to draw a line. But the truth was, I craved the attention. It made me feel seen, alive. Wanted the breaking point. Then came Friday. Mark came home early, flowers and wine in hand. I felt sick not just from the lies, but because Evan was upstairs and the house suddenly felt heavy. I prayed he would stay in his room. He didn't. Downstairs in nothing but a towel, he froze at Mark's entrance. My heart sank. The tension in the room could have split the walls. Mark smiled, oblivious. Evan's eyes met mine. I saw a darkness there, an awareness that made my blood run cold. That night, I lay awake beside Mark, heart hammering. Phone buzzing with a message from Evan. Come downstairs or I'll come to you. I moved like a shadow, careful not to wake Mark. Halfway down the stairs, panic gripped me. What we were doing, how close we were to being caught tit, was no longer just attention. It was control, power, a wildfire I couldn't stop. By the end of that week, Evan no longer whispered in shadows. He didn't care what Mark might think. I gave in emotionally, desperate for the connection I was starved of. Though it wasn't love, it was need. The collapse Sunday. Mark had friends over for the Falcons game. I tried to act normal, but Evan was relentless. Soft words, lingering touches, texts I dared not open. Then the phone. My voicemail. From my number from the night before. Every whispered confession, every vulnerability recorded. I froze, shaking. Mark walked in. My face betrayed everything, and then Evan, casual, smiling. Lena and I have gotten real close while you've been gone, he said. Like it was nothing. Mark's face twisted. Disbelief and fury mixing in a way that made my stomach drop. I confessed every word cutting through the fragile threads of our life. He left. That night, Evan disappeared. No note, no goodbye. Silence filled the house. I had lost everything. My husband, my peace, a part of myself I may never reclaim. One choice, one reckless lapse of judgment, and my world crumbled. Was it worth it? I still ask myself that. But silence, loneliness, and a yearning to feel seen are dangerous companions. Closing reflection and engagement, this is my truth. My shameful, unfiltered, and real truth. Now, I want to hear from you. What would you have done in my place? Could there ever be second chances after something like this? Comment below. I read every single word. And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel alive.